Welcome to WagerTalk TV. I am Kelly Stewart, joined by Dave Koken at Dave Koken on Twitter and Adam Trigger at Top Flight SI, two of my favorite handicappers over at WagerTalk.com. We are going to College Station. We got Mississippi State +7 at number 15, Texas A&M, total 46. I love the underdogs. You guys know this. This feels like a KIV special here where I just waltz right in and take Mississippi State to upset the Aggies. I just don't know if I can get to the window on this team, though. I keep going back and forth, and I think that Mississippi State has shown some real promise this year, and then at other points in time have fallen flat on their face, namely the last 2 weeks. Adam, I'm curious to know your opinion on this SEC matchup.
Yeah, Kelly. I mean, I'd love to make a case for Mississippi State here too, because their defense has been really good, much better than I anticipated it would be. But the whole air raid offense just isn't really working for them. They're just not as dynamic offensively as I expected a Mike Leach coach team to be, and they really don't run the ball at all. So I'm a little bit worried as to how they're going to score against a very elite Texas A&M defense. What could keep Mississippi State in this game is the fact that Texas A&M's offense has just been awful the last couple weeks and really looked terrible in their loss to Arkansas last week. So interesting scheduling spot here. Both of these teams play Alabama next. But Texas A&M has that game coming up next week, whereas Mississippi State has an idle week. They're off, and then they play Bama in 2 weeks. I like the spot a little bit better with Mississippi State here, and they are getting points, which is appealing. So I would, if I had to bet this one, I would probably take the points and ask for Mississippi State to keep it close here.
Mr. Koken, your thoughts on this matchup? I feel like this Aggies team had a lot of promise going into this year, and that's what I'd like to leave it at. Arkansas was on my long list last week, and I didn't get to the window with them, and they absolutely cruised through that game. It was very surprising. I thought how well the Razorbacks played. Your thoughts on this game?
Well, it's pretty clear that A&M has an issue at quarterback. This wasn't anticipated either. Calzada was basically 1A, if not number one, going to camp. But he did not play well in camp and lost the job. Now he's back at quarterback because of an injury. He has not looked good. He didn't play well against New Mexico, and that's the Lobos, okay? They put up a 34-0 win, but it wasn't because of him. He looked tentative in the pocket and made some errant throws. And it got worse last week playing a quality Arkansas defense. So I think there are some real concerns about the A&M offense at this time because teams are keying on Spiller and Aeneas Smith, and A&M just don't have the offensive components right now to make things work. But defensively, they're really good. And they've got a terrific secondary. I was not a big fan of the Mike Leach hire at Mississippi State. Part of the reason for that was his offense might work in other places. But in the SEC, everybody in the SEC, well, maybe not Vanderbilt, but everybody else, recruits speed on defense. And they've got, up and down the SEC, you see teams with these really fast guys in the defensive secondary. And that plays really well against an air raid offense that Leach likes to utilize. So what we've seen is that his refusal to run the ball, he just isn't going to do it. He's not going to, what is the expression? Zebra doesn't change its stripes or whatever it is. Leach is Leach, and he's going to do what he does. It just doesn't work that well in this league, particularly when he runs into a very good pass defense. And I think that's the case here. So I'm having trouble seeing where the points are going to come from in this game. 45 is not a real high total, 46. But to me, I think this might be one of those 13-10 type of games. I think there's a very good chance it's going to be an under, despite the fact Mississippi State's going to be throwing the ball all day. I can't lay the points with A&M. I don't want the points with Mississippi State because I think it's a bad matchup for them. My guess on the side is Aggies, but my stronger opinion would be on the under.
I can see that underplay coming in. Great stuff, Adam and Dave. Make sure you guys head over to WagerTalk.com. Check out both of these guys have tons of college football and NFL for sale for your pleasure. Great write-ups. I get both of their emails. If you want a novel, that's all you need. Both of these guys give you tons of free info all the time. And again, don't forget to follow them on Twitter. I don't know where I was going with that.